Welcome back to my channel. I'm gonna be real with you. I've already filmed this video twice. The first time I played my October TBR game, and the second time I filmed this really chatty like TBR video, which we're gonna redo. But I didn't have my massive pumpkin costume, so this is my Halloween costume. Because it's super duper cute, and I think my students are gonna really love it. But for October, what I was planning on doing was my TBR game. That's usually how I pick my TBRs. And then I found 2 readathons that I want to participate in. So of course that changed my entire TBR, and I'm like, oh, okay, so that video was canceled, and now we're going to redo my TBR for October right now. Actually, there's 3 videos. There's 3 readathons. So we have a lot to go through. So just come on this ride with me. I will link everyone down below for the readathons. The first one is Stay Spooky-a-thon. This is from Dana and Nikki from the Thrills and Chills book club, and I really enjoy their readathons because yes, there's a bingo board and you can do 1 bingo, you can try for a blackout, you can do whatever. But it's kind of more of a no pressure readathon. It's just if you get to it, that's cool. If you don't, then just come hang out with us on reading sprints type of thing. And I just really enjoy their readathons. I really enjoy the Thrills and Chills book club, everything like that. So let's start there. And then I'll talk about everything else. I did not do good in September. I did play my game in September, but I did not read everything that was picked. I think I kind of just went rogue and read what I wanted. So think of this as more of a pile of possibilities for October. And in November, I'm not going to take any punishments if I don't finish all like 40 books that are on my TBR this month. Because, yeah, I'm not that crazy. I mean, I am, but I'm not going to punish myself. You know, if I get into a slump or if I can't read 40 books in a month, because that's a lot of books. Usually my average is like 10 to 13, which is still a lot. The first prompt is a slasher on the first line of the bingo board. I am trying to go for a blackout, almost. There are 2 or 3 prompts that I might be skipping this time, but we'll talk about it when we get there. The first one is a slasher, so I'm going to pick The Butterfly Garden by Dot Hutchinson. This follows the serial killer named the Gardener, who they find like this garden. The FBI finds this garden that has 19 bodies and a survivor, and then I think that it's like this cat and mouse game between the FBI and the gardener, and I just like anything serial killer related. Then a paranormal read. For that, I'm going to be reading The Black Phone by Joe Hill. This is a short story collection. This follows Finney, or Jack Finney, who is in a psychopath's basement being held hostage. And the only thing that he has is a old black phone that no longer works and nothing else. But then at night, the black disconnected phone the black phone that's disconnected starts ringing. So of course Finney answers, and each day, so I'm assuming that's like 15 different days, because there are 15 different stories of a different victim of this psychopath, this serial killer, and they are trying to help Finney escape because they don't want him to have the same fate that they had. And that sounds like amazing. Then Read After Dark. I'm not going to pick an actual book for this one because you just have to read a book after dark. As long as I do that sometime in October, we're good. Listen to Spooky Ambiance. Like I said, I like to hang out. I like to hang out on Dana and Nikki's channels for the reading sprints, and they always have Spooky Ambiance, so that'll be easy. And then an adult thriller. I am not going to pick an adult thriller in this video because I have so many. I don't want to limit my choice to just one book. So as long as I read one of my adult thrillers, then I can check that off too. I try not to use the same book in different spots on the bingo board, but I think you can double up on prompts if I remember correctly. So we'll see. Maybe I might do that this time around. I try not to, but maybe this time. Then the next line for the bingo is to watch a spooky movie. Again, I'm not going to pick the movie here, but at some point, you know, just watch a spooky movie in October. True crime. I have different choices for this. So I could just listen to a podcast, which maybe. I could just watch police cam footage on YouTube, which maybe, because I really enjoy that. If I pick a book for this reading prompt, it's gonna be The Family Plot by Megan Collins. And this is a fiction book, so it's not true crime, but it follows Delilah Lighthouse, who was raised by true crime obsessed parents, and now she's going back home after her dad dies to, you know, take care of his estate and everything like that. When she goes to his plot where his body is going to be put, her missing twin brother, he went missing 10 years ago, his body is now in dad's plot. And that's all that I know. But if I read a true crime book, or like a prompt for true crime. Then there's Animal on the cover. I actually didn't pick one for that, and I'm not going to, but I have options, so I'll just read something with an animal on the cover. Then we have a buddy read. So for buddy read, I'm picking the Happily Ever After playlist by Abby Jimenez. A bunch of girls on YouTube are doing a read-along of the entire Abby Jimenez world. I mean, it's our world, but like, I don't know. We're doing an Abby Jimenez read-along. I will link everyone down below for that. Then a cozy mystery, or no, a cozy book. Just a cozy book in general, right? No, a cozy mystery. I was correct. I am also participating in TBR Knockout, which is put on by Mel from Completely Melanie, and every month you get 2 prompts to help you read down your physical TBR. And one of the prompts this month is to read a cozy mystery. So knocks both out, which is Killer Content by Olivia Blake, a Brooklyn murder mystery. And honestly, this cover is just everything. That cover is so cute. But you follow Odessa, who is new to New York, Brooklyn, sorry, new to Brooklyn, and she has a rent-free apartment because she's a cat sitter. She has a job at a bookstore and cafe, but when a proposal, so there's like this big epic proposal going on, and another waitress from the cafe leaves work early and is in that scene in that video as she's dying, and nobody thinks that's the big deal. They're just like, oh, the proposal, whatever. So she starts kind of investigating what happened to her friend and her co-worker. So it sounds like a goofy kind of fun time. Then Feminine Rage is Mary by Nat Cassidy. I've already read 38 pages of this book. Yeah, just like a little bit. I'm really, really enjoying this. You follow Mary, who is going through menopause, pre-menopause, and she's also turning into a serial killer, I think. But the madness inside of her head is incredible. I'm just really loving reading this very, very slowly, but I hope to finish it in October. Then Host Favorite. This is one that I'm going to be skipping because they, Nikki and Dana gave us 6 books together. 2 of them are young adult, and I just don't read young adult. I'm not going to pretend that I do, because if I force myself to read a young adult book, I end up hating it. 2 of them I've read, so that leaves 2, and I'm not really interested in those particular books, so respectfully, I'm going to pass on that prompt. Then a free space. So, you know, I just get a little free space. And then set in the fall, I have All Hallows by Christopher Golden. This takes place in 1984 on Halloween. I don't really know a whole lot other than it's supposed to be really creepy. There are some kids that don't belong there, and they're dressed up for Halloween, and I'm not sure what happens after that, but that sounds exciting. Then we have Gives You the Creeps. This one was also picked by George because, like I said, I did play the game, and there were 2 books that were picked by someone else that I tried to make sure stayed on the TBR because I thought that that was fair. But like I said, I'm not going to be posting that video of me playing the game this month just because I decided last minute that I'm going to be participating in all the things. Are we at all surprised by this? We shouldn't be. But Gives You the Creeps is Someone in the Attic by Andrea Mara. You're home alone, you're doing your thing, you're reading books, you're watching TV, you know, you're living your life, and then you realize that there's someone else in your house watching you. They're in your attic. What would you do? That sounds good. Then the next line starts with audiobook. So there's Goddess of Filth by V. Castro. One hot summer night, best friends Lotus, Fernando, Anna, Perla, and Pauline hold a seance, like a witchy thing. It's all fun and games at first, but their tipsy laughter turns to terror when the flames burn straight through their prayer candles, and Fernanda starts crawling toward her friends and chanting in Nolati, the language of the Aztec ancestors. Then we have Orange or Black on the cover, and I could have done Orange or Black, but because I'm extra, I'm gonna be doing Orange and Black. Suffer the Children by Craig DeLuey, which is this apocalyptic it's an apocalypse. There we go. Where kids get sick and then they basically come back from the grave as vampires and they start thirsting for blood. I'm scared of this one. Then I have spooky novella. For this one, I am going to read a Kindle book. I'm going to read The Other Passenger by J.E. Roney. A rainy night, a killer on the road, two unlikely worlds collide. On the run from their pasts, a man and a woman are forced together by the weather and by necessity. When a radio news broadcast reports that a body has been found further back along the road on which they just came, tensions rise, and it's only so long before the truth must come out. Oh, that sounds great. It's like a road trip, kind of. You pick up a hitchhiker, I'm assuming, and one of them is a murderer. I'm really excited for that one. And it's only like 184 pages. But that cover, stunning. Okay, then Night Sky on the cover. This one is a 4-book series, kind of. But each book is only like less than an hour for the audiobook if you listen to it at one speed. And I do not listen to my audiobooks this slow. I pick it up a little bit. But there are 4 interconnected stories. And on 2 of the covers, there's a night sky. So I'm counting all 4 books for this prompt. And it's Date Night by Jeffrey Deaver. This 4-book series. A race against time becomes a battle for the soul in this suspense story. Death is a topic Bradford Douglas is intimately familiar with. The young attorney is on a crusade against capital punishment. He saved many death row inmates, and he is called to perform a Hail Mary on a serial killer who's supposed to be put to death in 4 hours. Instead, he wants him to have life in prison. So then it's Trick or Treat Yourself. I don't know how I'm going to do that one. Then there's a 2024 release for that one. I'm going to be reading Sleep Tight by J.H. Marketer. It follows Father Silence, who is a serial killer, but he just got put to death. And now there are copycat murders going on. Sorry, that's like short and sweet, but yeah. Drink a fall drink, so another lifestyle prompt. Group book. I might or might not read the group book. I've read this book. I love this book. However, I don't recommend it to people that can't handle like dark. It's like really dark, really taboo, really. Ooh. I love this book, but I wouldn't recommend it to everyone. This is The Last Housewife by Ashley Winstead. It depends on my mental state in October. It also just depends on like what I get to read, because I feel like I'm picking way too many books. But you know, it's an option. You follow Shay, who's one of her best friends in college died, and now it's like 15 years later, and one of her other best friends that also knew the other friend in college has just died, and they the police think that it's like they were both unrelated suicides. Shay thinks that they're related, so she contacts a podcaster that she knew in college, and now he runs his own true crime podcast, so they're low-key investigating what happened to her friend in college and her friend currently because she doesn't believe that they were suicides. Then the next one is young adult book. Like I said, I don't read young adult. I'm not going to force myself to read something that I'm not going to like. And then the last prompt for the Stay Spooky-a-thon TBR is to revisit a favorite. I have a lot of favorites, so I'm not going to lock in which one I'm going to read, but I will definitely be reading something and maybe. Alright, our next part of this video is going to be talking about TBR Harvest, which is being hosted by Leandra from TBR Zero. Of course, I'll link her down below too. There are 3 different options. She's put a lot of work into this. So the 3 options are to do Escape from a Haunted Mansion, or Escape from a Haunted House, Escape from a Corn Maze, and the one that I picked, which is just Trick or Treat. The Trick or Treat one is 20 different prompts that you have to trick or treat your shelves to find these different prompts. And I'm not gonna lie to you, there's one that I might have cheated on some of them. Cheating is such a strong word. I just stretched the prompts to fit me. So the first one is a hot drink on the cover. For that, I'm gonna be picking yet another cozy mystery, and that is Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers by Jesse Centano. This is freaking perfect. So you have tea right here and then spilt tea right here, and I think that this is the UK cover that I just happened to get lucky at my Savers, my Value Village here, and I found this and I'm really excited. So tea shop owner, matchmaker, detective. So there's that. Then there's a new release. I am trying really hard to double up on books from different readathons. So a new release is going to be Someone in the Attic by Andrea Mara. Then TBR backlist is going to be Devil of Black Creek. Mia is reluctant to go camping with her boyfriend and sister, who are graduate students working on a dissertation about American folklore, but ultimately they convince her to help document the trip. The group sets off to Black Creek, a remote destination in the Pacific Northwest where Bigfoot has allegedly been seen. Then there's a sweet word in the title. So for that one, I'm going to pick Happily Ever After Playlist by Abby Jimenez. Then there's a mysterious read, and for that one, I didn't really pick one. Because I have so many options, I don't want to lock in one book for that. So as long as I read some kind of mystery or mysterious read that's not already on the TBR for TBR Harvest. Then a vampire in the story, you guessed it, Suffer the Children by Craig DeLuey. Yep, we already talked about that one too. Then a cozy book. For a cozy book, I'm picking Dial A for Aunties by Jessie Q. Centano. Another cozy style mystery. Like I said, I have 3 cozy mysteries on this TBR, I think. Witchy vibes. So for witchy vibes, I'm going to read Under Your Spell by Laura Wood. She wants 3 things. He isn't one of them. This follows this girl, Clementine Monroe, who had like the perfect life, but then she was dumped by her cheating ex. She was fired from her dream job and about to lose her flat. Her and her sisters, Clementine and her sister, or her best friend, I think it's her sisters, get drunk and they do like this hex type thing. They do like a little curse and just, you know, because it's all fun, you know, they just get drunk. She's having a real hard time, and then the curse actually might come true, and I think the curse actually leads her to the love of her life, possibly. But honestly, that's just super duper cute, and I'm excited. It will help bridge the gap of some of the serious scary things that I have, to have, you know, some cozies, and I would consider this like a cozy romance too, possibly. I'm saying it's gonna be a cozy one. Then we have Cat on the Cover, another one that's gonna help me with some of the more harder things to read, the more scary things, is Go Hex Yourself by Jessica Clare. So this one is also kind of witchy vibes, but if you see, there's a cat right there, and that was the prompt, was a cat on the cover. This is a hate to love romance, and she's a witch. Then we have pumpkin on the cover. So this one I cheated. I stretched it. I don't have any books that have pumpkins on the cover. So I am dressed as a pumpkin, and that should count. I'm also going to be a pumpkin for Halloween, if you couldn't tell. But if that doesn't count, then I really don't have anything with pumpkin on the cover. So instead, I'm picking Given Our History by Kristen J. Miller. This is an arc that I was supposed to read before August. Sorry. But it has like all the fall vibes. Do you see all the leaves? And there might not be an actual pumpkin on the cover, but I see fall vibes. And I'm dressed as a pumpkin. So it counts. I'm counting it. Then a romantic subplot. Again, I'm not locking one in. I don't have a lot of like thriller horror novels that have a romantic subplot. I like romance and I like thriller horror novels, but I don't mix them very often. So I will just try and read. I'll just try and find something throughout the month. Or I'll skip that one, if I'm being honest. Supernatural is... This one I also thought about using for a pumpkin on the cover. It's a sunflower, but like I said, I don't have pumpkin anything except for my costume. But this is Edenville by Sam Rublin. This is like haunted house type vibes, and I'm pretty sure there's something supernatural in here. And again, this was an arc that I was supposed to read last year. So I really want to catch up on those arcs. Then we have Found Family. I did not pick one for Found Family because I really don't know which one of my books has Found Family. So again, I'm just going to kind of read things and see if I can get that one. Then Takes Place in the Fall is All Hallows by Christopher Golden. Then a grumpy character. I stretched this one a lot. She's like more than a grumpy character. She is a mean villain. So she's a mean grumpy villain because Misery by Stephen King, because Annie Wilkes doesn't like the way that the author in this book, Paul Sheldon, finished a series. She hated it. So she kidnapped him, and now he's being held hostage. So she's more than a grumpy character. She's like a psychopath. But I'm counting her for a grumpy character because she was angry at him, grumpy at him for writing the book in a way that she didn't like. So she wants him to redo the book, and then she'll let him go. Then we have a reread. I'm not going to pick my reread in this book like I already said for the other readathon. Book to film adaptation. I'm thinking Never Let Me Go by that author. I have no idea what this is about. But I know that there's a movie. And no, I haven't seen the movie. Then there's a repeat author, so an author I've read from before. I didn't pick that one either. I'll just pick it at some point in the month. Maybe I'll listen to another Darcy Coates book because I really enjoy Darcy Coates. A historical setting. I didn't for sure pick one, but right now I'm thinking The Werewolf by Alma Katsu. This takes place during the Cold War, I believe, and there's like a creature hunting humans. I don't really like those type of books, but maybe I will. And then Fairy Tale Reimagined. For Fairy Tale Reimagined, I'm going to be reading Alice by Christina Henry. Yeah, Alice is Alice in Wonderland, but make it horror and make it terrifying. I have no idea what to expect from the book. I've read a couple of Christina Henry books, and I generally give her 3 stars, so we'll see. I generally find that her books are fine, so I will see. Anyways, that is my super long October TBR for Stay Spooky-a-thon, for TBR Harvest, and we have to take our first turn on Becca and the Books is doing a Spookopoly-a-thon. It's basically Monopoly with spooky prompts for October, and that's how she used to pick her TBRs back in the day. So let me set that up. Before we set that up, I've already told you that TBR Knockout has one of the prompts is Cozy Mystery. I have 3 books. I have Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murders, Killer Content, and Dial A for Aunties. Buzzword this month is, I almost forgot this. The spooky book for TBR Knockout is either going to be Someone in the Attic, Sleep Tights, or Misery. I mean, I could really pick just about any of my spooky books for this. And then Buzzword from Books and Lala is she picks one prompt or one word every month, and you're supposed to pick a book that has that word or theme of words in it. For this month, it is family relationships, or relationships in general. So Dial A for Aunties. Aunties is a relationship, brother, sister, cousin, family, anything, friend, anything like that. I'm going to be using Dial A for Aunties though. And now let's go take our first turn. Becca and the Books Readathon, Spookopoly-a-thon. So I'm going to start with 5 turns. I am going to try to get as many repeat books on there as I can, because this is already an extremely long TBR. So I'm going to try and get those on. If I get doubles at any point, then I have to add a rule to the game. So let's go set that up. All right, rule number 1 of Becca's Bookopouthon is a 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wait, I started on the wrong space. I started on dice roulette. So let's try that again. We're on go now. See, it says go. Now we'll go 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Future. Alright, so rule number 1 actually did get us a new book. Yay! Anytime you land on the future, it's like a book that you've been saving for the perfect time. And that would be Home Before Dark by Riley Sager for me. I keep saying, I've been saying since June that I want to reread this book. And, you know, I have not yet. The first time that I read this book, I hated it. But it's been just on instant replay for the past, like, 4 months, I guess. So it's time that I read Home Before Dark by Riley Sager again. And let's go to rule number 2. Alright, rule number 2 is a 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So a book with black on the cover, I'm assuming. For a book with black on the cover, I'm going to be reading The Butterfly Garden by Dot Hutchinson. Rule number 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pentacle. The pentacle means summon a 5-star prediction. Summon a 5-star book. Read a 5-star prediction. For that, I'm going to be reading Misery by Stephen King. Here's the thing. I have read a lot of Stephen King. He's very, very, like, his writing is very decisive, if you know what I mean. And I have given Stephen King one other 5-star rating. So is it scary to put Stephen King on a 5-star predictions? Probably. But I already did it. So go check out my Unlucky 13 video where I have 13 5-star predictions that I want to read. This is one of them. Alright, now rule number 4 is a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bram Stoker. Alright, so the prompt for the Bram Stoker space is to either read a book by Bram Stoker, which, you know, you could be like, hey, you're gonna read Dracula. I attempted to read Dracula in September. And the other part of the prompt, if you don't want to read a Bram Stoker book right now, is to read a book with vampires. So you already know that Suffer the Children is going to be that book. Let's go to our last rule. Rule number 5 is a 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ooh, okay. For my chance card pick, I did not make cards, but basically you're supposed to put some books that you really want to read and some books that you don't want to read. So I have 8 books here. 4 of them are already on my TBR, and 4 of them are not on my TBR for this month. I'm going to have my husband pick one. And if he picks one that I don't already have on my TBR, then we're getting divorced. No, we're not. But, yeah, I'm obviously hoping he will pick one that is already on my TBR. But if he picks one where I have to add one, I would really like it to be this top book right here. or this one right here. So, sorry, but he might be able to hear me because the door's open, so I'm going to mix them up a little, and then he can pick. I think I started lunch, kind of. It was mainly him. I started part of it, so I think he's giving us lunch. Perfect. Can you come pick one of these 8 books for me to read in October?
These ones?
Yeah. This is my last part of my TBR.
Okay.
Do you want to come over this way so you're more in the
yes.
camera? Okay.
It is a scary month.
It is. Do you want me to tell you what any of them are about?
Yes. This one, Never Let Me Go.
I am not entirely sure, but I think it's like a dark academia murder mystery.
Okay, how about the black phone?
Ooh, this one is about this kid named Finney. He's trapped in the psychopath's basement, and he's getting phone calls from his previous victims. They're trying to get him to escape.
That's the one you're reading.
The Black Phone.
The Black Phone. Oh, and here's this too.
By Joe Hill. Thank you, babe.
Yep.
One was already on my TBR. That was amazing. I was hoping that he would pick this one, to be honest. Or Mary, but Mary's also already on the TBR. So that is my extremely long, ambitious October TBR. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to my channel. Bye.